All right, we are only 2 weeks away from the South Carolina Republican primary, and the latest CBS poll has President Trump leading Nikki Haley by 35% in her home state. So with President Trump closing in on the GOP presidential nomination, the former president is looking to shore up the RNC ahead of the general election. Now, yesterday, the president endorsed North Carolina GOP chair, a guy by the name of Michael Whatley, to replace Ronna McDaniel for RNC chair, along with his daughter-in-law, Lara Trump, for co-chair. Laura joins us now. She's the host of the Right View podcast, which I don't know how you're going to pull it all off, but it's great to have you back, Laura. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. It's great to be with you.
First, let me get your reaction. I was a little surprised. I wasn't surprised by Mitt Romney's comments. I wasn't surprised by Biden's comments. You know, if you don't support the Ukraine bill and you believe in securing our borders first, that means you're pro-Putin. But I was surprised at Nikki Haley's comments. That did surprise me. I've not been a strong critic of her. I think she's a nice person. But if she wants to win the nomination, I'm not sure, saying, putting Ukraine ahead of American border security is a good idea, or claiming that if you support that somehow you're siding with the thug Vladimir Putin. Nobody's siding with the thug, dictator, murderer Vladimir Putin.
Yeah, we want to protect our country first and foremost, Sean. I mean, everybody knows that. I think everyone understands that. The fact that we're even talking about Nikki Haley at this point right now is kind of insane. I mean, the fact that she is still running for president, supposedly, is a bit outrageous. I assume she would only say something like this to maybe garner a little bit of media attention. She is poised right now, Sean, as you just mentioned, to lose her home state of South Carolina in a very embarrassing way. Maybe it's not quite as embarrassing as losing to none of these candidates, which just happened in Nevada. But it's time for us to all garner our support behind the obvious Republican nominee, Donald Trump. We have a must-win election on our hands right now against Joe Biden. Let's face it, Sean, if we wait and do nothing and allow Joe Biden another 4 years and Democrats another 4 years to destroy this country, that's exactly what is going to happen. We will not have a country left. Why Nikki Haley is still in this and why she says things that are so ridiculous and outrageous, I wish I could tell you, but it makes absolutely no sense, Sean.
So here's what I see that the Republican National Committee is finally beginning to get right, and there's one part of the puzzle that's missing. Now, just as a predicate, let me add that if I had my way, Election Day would be one day. It would be a national holiday. You would make exceptions for the military, the infirm, the elderly, that they could vote by mail. I'd have voter ID, signature verification, chain of custody controls, updated voter rolls, and partisan observers watching the voting all day in every precinct around the country and the vote counting all night. That's not the system we have. We got to deal with the hand we're dealt. And the hand we are dealt is such that a lot of states have voting, it's seemingly in perpetuity, weeks on end. I don't particularly like it. I think it lends itself to integrity issues. But the Republicans and conservatives around the country have been reluctant and resistant to voting early and voting by mail. And I think they better overcome that resistance, or they're going to start out election night down 300,000 or 400,000 votes. The other part of the puzzle, and the RNC, by the way, did say bank your vote. They came out with a campaign. I support it. But they haven't really seemed to have dealt with the issue of legal ballot harvesting, which I think the Democrats have pretty much mastered. Surprising it's legal, but it is. And if Republicans don't match or surpass the efforts of Democrats, especially in swing states, that is a vulnerability that I believe, could sway an election. If 6 states and a couple of 100,000 votes make all the difference, that could be the difference. Will that be a top priority?
Well, absolutely, Sean. I mean, we have to be 6 or 7 steps ahead of the Democrats. And you're right, we have to beat them at this game. We thought as Republicans we could play the game we always have. And that just isn't the case anymore, as you just explained. We have to deal with what we have right now in this moment. And I'll tell you what, the RNC should have one goal and one focus, and that is ensuring that the leader of the Republican Party, Donald J. Trump, is elected as the 47th president of the United States, and we are able to save this country. Here's what I can assure you. Any person walking into the doors of the RNC with any other goal in mind will be shown the door if I were elected to this position as co-chair of the RNC. We have no time to waste. We have 9.5 months. We have to ensure that every single penny raised goes to voter registration, as you just said, legal ballot harvesting, which we have been beaten by the Democrats at forever at this point. Game day operations. We need to understand on Election Day where we are in every single precinct around this country. We need a ground game that is unmatched, and we need to have the most lethal fighting machine in the American political history you have ever seen. That happens day one if I'm elected co-chair of the RNC. I can assure you we have no time to waste. We better get started today.
Listen, I like your passion. I like your ideas. Dealing with those two issues to me are critical ahead of the next election. I don't know, though, whether to congratulate you or to offer condolences, because I think that's one tough job. But we appreciate you being with us. We'll follow it closely. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.